Misogyny could become a hate crime as legal review is announced. Let's have a look. A review is to take place into whether misogynistic conduct should be treated as a hate crime following Labour MP Stella Creasy's call to change the law. That's Stella there, I guess. The move was announced during a debate on proposed legislation to criminalise upskirting in England and Wales. Now, absolutely, it's absolutely right. Is that there's no doubt about that. So let's go on. The Law Commission will review how sex and gender characteristics are treated within existing hate crime laws and whether new offences are needed. Miss Creasy said it sent a message to young women we are on their side, which is all fair and square up to now. On Wednesday, MPs approved the voyeurism bill, which would ban the taking of unsolicited pictures under someone's clothing, known as upskirting, in England and Wales. So they've already got this voyeurism bill which bans all that, which is right in it. Nobody wants that shit. So yeah, it's all good so far. Proposals to create a new criminal offence, which is already on the statute book in Scotland, will now be considered by the House of Lords. So, upskirting law to be passed soon, says May. Misogyny hate crime pilot shocking. Upskirting, it happened to me. Right, well, don't know what all that means, but... So, Miss Creasy, the MP for Walthamstow, wanted to amend the draft law to allow judges to take into account whether people convicted of hate crimes against women should get a tougher sentence if it was motivated by misogyny or if misogyny was deemed to be an aggravating factor. All right. So now we're getting into crazy area now. Now we're getting into crazy area. As it says here, misogyny involves showing dislike, contempt, or ingrained prejudice against women. Now this is going down a very, very slippery slope. Very slippery indeed. So Justice Minister Lucy Fraser said the voyeurism bill was not the right vehicle to seek such a change in the law, but said she sympathised with Miss Creasy's views. She said ministers would fund a review into the coverage and approach of hate crime laws. We, as a government, are concerned our hate crime legislation is up to date and consistent. We as a government are concerned our hate crime legislation is up to date and consistent. That don't make any sense to me. They're concerned our hate crime legislation... They're concerned the hate crime legislation is up to date and consistent. Right, I don't get that. Anyway, so let's move on. This review will include how protected characteristics, including sex and gender characteristics, should be considered by new or existing hate crime law. So we're sending a message, look. Miss Creasy said the government's commitment to review existing laws and consider whether there was a need for new offences sent a hugely positive signal. For the first time, we are now saying as a country that misogyny is not a part of life. It is something that shouldn't be tolerated, and it is something we are going to tackle, she said. Right, well, that's getting into slippery slope territory, that. We have just sent a message to every young woman in this country that we are on their side, which is fair enough, but she's called for an extension of the pilot project in Nottinghamshire by Nottinghamshire Police, which has for 2 years been recording misogynistic behaviour as either hate crime or hate incidents, depending on whether or not it is criminal. What is misogyny hate crime? So, Nottinghamshire Police, which has been recording misogyny as a hate crime since 2016, defines misogyny as incidents against women that are motivated by the attitude of men towards women and includes behaviour targeted at women by men simply because they are women. Okay. Examples include sexual assault, no doubt about that. That's bang out of order. Indecent exposure, absolutely, should be jailed. Groping, jail. Taking unwanted photographs on mobiles. Well, I'm afraid if you're out in the public and somebody takes your photo, it's totally legal. So what you're saying is that it's all right to take video or photo of anybody, well, men, but not women. Is that what you're trying to say? See, that's getting into silly territory now, isn't it? Taking unwanted photographs on mobiles. Right, okay, that's silly. So upskirting, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that should you should go to jail for that, no doubt about that. Online abuse. So if you're in a thread and some woman says to you, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about, you stupid cunt. Shut up." And you message her back saying, "Shut up, you stupid bitch. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just a fucking slag." So that means that you'll be done and she won't. Online abuse. Well, that's just stupid. I can't get my head around that one, because that's never gonna. See where we're going now? We're going into absolutely stupid territory here. Being followed home, absolutely. I can agree with that. Whistling. Somebody whistles at you. Is that misogyny? Does that mean they hate you? I don't know. What about if a woman whistles at a man? I get whistled at now and again. I've had it through my lifetime. Is that a hate crime? I don't know. Can women whistle at men? Or can't that happen? See, we're going into stupid territory here. Sexual explicit language. So if you're having a conversation with someone, a woman or somebody else, and a woman's there, and you're talking about some lass's tits or whatever, or whatever as men do, can she phone the police and get you done for that? Because you're having a conversation with somebody else. Threatening, yep, I suppose. Aggressive, I don't know. Just where do you go from that? If somebody's gonna, a woman can just say, well, he were aggressive. Really? Intimidating behaviour. I mean, what are the boundaries? Where are the lines here? Aggressive, intimidating behaviour. Anything can be seen as intimidating behaviour, surely. And unwanted sexual advances. So that means you shouldn't ask women out. You shouldn't ask them for the number. You shouldn't say, "Hey, I like you. You fancy going out one time?" Because she can just call the police. We're getting into stupid territory here. Absolutely stupid territory. It's ridiculous. It seems some of these things, you're on the face of it, they're described as one thing, but if you look under the surface, they're quite another. They're quite another altogether. So, however, not all hate crimes are criminal offences according to the legal definition. So this is just an example of just craziness. I mean, the examples include sexual assault. Nobody's going to argue with that. Indecent exposure. Nobody's going to argue with that. Groping. Nobody's going to argue with that. Taking unwanted photographs on mobiles. So if you're in town and you're videoing something, or you're videoing something else, and you're videoing a parade or something, or you know, your kid's in a parade or something like that, and there's women in there. So you're telling me that you might get a knock on your door the next day saying that you're getting charged with misogyny because, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. How's that going to work? Upskirting, which is taking photographs of videoing lasses up the skirt without the knowledge, which is, yeah, nobody's going to argue with that. Online abuse, it's a slippery slope. It's absolutely ridiculous, is that one. Being followed home, yeah, nobody's going to argue with that. Whistling, oh, good God, big eye roll. Are you kidding me? Sexual explicit language, right, so what? I don't even know what to say about that. I've no idea. Threatening, aggressive and intimidating behaviour. Well, you know, someone's idea of threatening and intimidating and aggressive behaviour is different for everybody. You know, you can just say, you can call somebody by the wrong pronouns these days, and it's intimidating and aggressive and all that, but, you know, it's a slippery slope. On the surface, these things look good, but when you dig down deep, it's just ridiculous. And unwanted sexual advances. So, you know, somebody asks you out and you don't fancy them, and just because you feel a bit put out by it, you go and ring the police on them. Yeah, that's going to work, innit? Anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up now. So as you can see, it's just thought I'd make you aware of this. We'll have to keep an eye on this job. So cheers, bye bye.